Yeah, made me well. Years ago, my son and myself was just we was close, but I was with someone else. I was with Danny. Me and his mum didn't get on too well. My son loved his dad, loved him as the person he was, the big man. Yeah, he loved all that, my boy. Being in and out of prison all his life, the fighter, unlicensed fighter. My boy loved his dad and loved to show his dad off. Yeah. So when my boy made arrangements to see me, I never show up. I was a bad person, yeah. But I was training on the roids, testosterone, loads of gear I was taking, yeah. But too much of it, you know what I mean? And then I'd go down to Barbican, go his stretch, Mr. Brittany jabbed me up. I was trying with Nigel Ben down at Barbican. And I was training all the time, getting massive, really, really big, yeah. And my boy, as I say, was proud of his dad. But made arrangements to see him and they would turn up because in your life, yeah, you're with someone. Do you want to spoil that? But your kids are your kids, right? But I took it the other way around. I didn't want to upset the woman I was with. But this day, I drove around on a little blue Astra, yeah? My car, my gym car. I had other cars, Porsches, Mercs, BMWs, and like, but this Astra was my gym car. I used to go to the gym in this car. Went to the gym, massive. My son phoned me up, Dad, can I see you? Of course you can, mate, yeah? So I didn't want to let him down again, so I drove to where he lived. So I was late. He'd been waiting for me 2 hours, but he was just about to go home and I pulled up, bip, bip. And he got in the Astra and he was crying with excitement how big I was. He was punching my arm, proud of his dad, yeah? And he was kissing and cuddling his dad, and I felt bad. But sometimes you feel bad, but it's not your fault. You don't want to get involved in an argument with the other person in my boy's life, and that person was once involved in my life. So you stay away. You don't want to stay away, but in a way you have to because you don't want to cause problems with the one you're with. I know I lived in Kingston on a massive big place, and I didn't want to upset her. She's just got my son, and this that and the other. I didn't want to upset her at all. Anyway, so I'm in bed and I get a call. I get a call from Christine. And I go, what's up? I'm in bed. This is like this is in the evening time. What do you want, Chris? You know what I mean? She said, Jay's had an accident and he looks like he's dead. He's gonna die. I went, fucking hell. It was in Scotland, and it was in a place called It was they had my boy in a place called Dundee Infirmary, yeah, a big hospital. And sort of went there. All the time I was trying to get there, mate, I was getting more tearful. My son went down to help his mum out with a problem, and they hit a stone wall, and my boy went through the back of no, my boy was in the front, and he went straight through the windscreen, hit this big stone wall, a little cut in his head, about 4 inches, dead. And then they brought him round when the helicopter come down, brought him round, died about 4 times, but they eventually brought him back. My boy's strong, yeah? He's like his dad, powerful, strong, mate. And they took him to Dundee Infirmary and I went there to see him. And he was all tubes, nothing but tubes. And when they pulled his tube up from his mouth, he sat up like that. He sat up. And I thought he was like, okay. But this tube takes all the stuff out of his lungs, and it makes it, he can breathe, so he can try to breathe these machines. They get all this shit off his lungs, the blood and all this crap, yeah. And he's in a bad way, yeah. And they said to me and his mum, we're going to put a bolt in his head to test the pressure, the blood pressure. And if it goes so to this pressure, that means it's not worth it to let him live because he'll be a cabbage for the rest of his life. Anyway, she's a good mum, mate. His mum, you know what I mean? She went absolutely apeshit. In the morning, he's still there. He's had a bad night, so we have to go and see the consultant. We go and see the consultant. They said, listen, we think the best thing to do is to turn the machine off because he's going to die. If he doesn't die, he's going to be a cabbage for the rest of his life. She went mad. Everything this, everything that. He's my son. If he is what he is, he is. I'll look after him. I'll be wiping his bum for the rest of his life. I don't care. He's my boy. You leave him alone. I said, look, you got. And she jumped off the chair when I said, look, you got to do it. She jumped off the chair and she bashed me up. And she smashed me with everything on that table. Everything was on the table. She hit me with, cut me my face bleeding. But next 2 days, a miracle, my boy pulled through. So the consultants told us that he was going to die, but he pulled through. But my boy was such in a bad way that when she took him home, they had his things to lower him in the bath. And he turned his tap on for more hot water and shouting out, and he couldn't turn it off, and scolded himself with boiling hot water. I mean, his mother used to change his bum 4 times a day like a baby, and this is like 10 to 15 years of this. And where was I? I was nowhere to be seen, mate. I was not a good dad, mate. I was a bad dad. I didn't want to get involved. She was with someone else, so I thought I'd just stay away. And one day he came off the wheelchair and he started to walk, and he had this thing called muscle tone, where his muscles all toned up. He had to take about 100 pills a day, and he'd have fits, really bad fits, and really bad. But they get helicopters have to land in on the ground, rush in to get him out of it. It was so bad. It was not good for him. So it got worse instead of better. And then it's madness, mate. My boy's just the power in my son. Something in him made him come out of it. And one side of his body is shorter than the other side. So when he walks, he hobbles, But where he lived in High Wycombe, he lived on the top of this hill where there used to be a prison camp, where they'd done Scum, the film. So he's up there, and my boy's one of these people that he's got a lot of power in him. He won't let things take over. It's not his dad in that way, So he got a cab to the pub for a drink, drove all the way to the pub with a cab, got out, went in the pub. And my boy, as I said, he was a bit of a fucker. He used to bash all the kids up, all the boys the same age and older, and men and bouncers. He goes into this pub and there's 2 kids that remember him from where he used to live. He's gone in there, hobbling, and a bit, you can see his eyes is a bit funny, And so he can't throw punches. His punches are all over the gaff, And these boys went into him, steamed into him, and bashed my boy up, And my boy was in a bad way, but my boy picked himself up off the floor, off the pub, walked up to where he lives. He hobbled up this hill. The hill's like, we wouldn't believe it. And he walked up. It took him about 3 hours to get home, walk up this hill, It was in bits of pitch black. I mean, it's pitch black, no lights at all. He's up in the mountains, mate. And he walks home, hobbling, And he told his mum, and she went crazy. Then they told me, but I was an IPP. I just come out of my IPP. What can I do? What do I do? Go in the pub, rip the guy's heads off, rip them to pieces, or what do I do? So I had to leave it. And it ripped me apart, thinking that I had to leave that. They bashed my son up bad, and I had to leave it. Would I plot up on them? This is going to come on top. Something's going to happen, cameras, phones, and all this, that, and the other. And, so I left it. Anyway, my boy, he just got better and better and stronger and better. And now he's just had a baby. His girl, she also has fits, but my son, she's not so bad now. She's beautiful. My son, he doesn't have so many fits no more. He still has fits, but where he lives in a big place. up the hill. Used to be, as I say, used to be a prison camp, and the prison camps are ex United States people where they used to live, yeah. So you can imagine the places that are stunning inside. They're massive, massive, open planned. And my boy let his mum stay in that while I had the child, and he built an outhouse outside, a one-bedroom place outside where he can be with his girlfriend and the baby. My boy's exceptionally unbelievable, mate, and he showed me. He's made me proud of him, yeah. But he can't be proud of me because I just let him, just didn't. I haven't left him, mate. He's there all the time with me. But what can you do, mate? What can you do? It's virtually impossible for me to go to the house. I went there about 6 months ago with Terry. Went in there, but it was an uncomfortable feeling. Don't feel right. You know what I mean? You don't feel right. You feel very uncomfortable for what's happened in my life, which I would never explain. You know, other things that shock me. Yeah, but it's things that are not good. So we're unable, me and Christine, my ex-wife, to have any conversation to each other. And it's hard. But my boy now and again sends me a message. I love you, Dad. This, that, and the other. And it's not fair, mate. It's not fair. Anyway, I'm going to see him, mate. I'm going to get him to come over here. I'll keep asking him to come over. It's not easy for him. But anyway, bang, bang, Mel. Nice one. Bye-bye.